Hey guys, welcome back to G-Bones Tech. Today's video is my beginner guide to the brand new Canon EOS 90D. I'm also going to be doing my full video test of this camera that is going to be coming soon to the channel. So far, this is a great camera and my video test of it is going to be coming to the channel very soon. So make sure to hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss that video. That being said, let's start with the basics. Okay, so first off, we have to give this camera power. So we're going to take the LPE6 battery and we're going to place it into our new camera. So we're just going to take it and place it over here so we can get access to the bottom of the camera, and then here we can see a little slot for our battery. We're just going to press this tab and it's going to open up just like this, and then we're going to take the battery with the arrow facing outwards towards the side here, and we're just going to place it in like this until we hear a click. And then we're going to be good to go. Then we're going to take the bottom panel and just press that in again until we hear a click, and then it's going to be locked in. Okay, so our Canon 90D is now fully powered. So now all we have to do is put an SD card in so we can record photos or video. So the SD card slot is going to be here on the grip, here on the side of the camera. We're just going to press it out just like this, and it's going to spring open all the way just like that. Then we're going to take our SD card and put it in. I recommend using a UHS 3 SD card because that is going to allow us to film 4K video and also 1080p video at 120 frames per second. If you use a slower SD card, you might not be able to record full 4K video on this camera. So we're going to take our SD card and we're just going to place it in here just like this until we hear a click. And once the SD card is in, we can easily just close the SD card slot just like this until we hear a click, and then we are good to go. Okay, so the last step of setting up this camera is going to be attach a lens to the 90D. So we're going to take the cover here and we're going to twist it counterclockwise just like this until the circle lines up here in the middle, and then we're just going to pull it off just like that, and then we're going to be good to go. Now here we can see that there is a red circle and a white circle. The white circle is going to be where we're going to line up EFS lenses, and the red circle is going to be where we're going to line up EF lenses. So here we have a EF full frame lens here, and we can see the red circle. So what you're going to do is you're just going to line up the red circle with the red circle, or the white square with the white square, just like this. And then once it's lined up, we're just going to twist it clockwise until we hear a click. Just like that, and now we have a lens mounted to our brand new Canon 90D. And now the last thing we have to do is take off our lens cap. So we're just going to pinch here in the middle and pull it off. Now that we have the lens attached, we are ready to turn this camera on. So you guys can see right here, there's going to be an on-off switch right here in the top left of the camera. And we're just going to switch it from off to on, just like this, and now our camera is going to be powered on. Then we're going to take out our flip tilt screen so you guys can see it here, and we're going to take it out and flip it around just like this. So once we have the camera powered on, we have a choice whether to shoot stills or to shoot video. Right now we have it set to shooting stills, as you can see by this little white line pointing over here to the stills option. And if we flip it down like this towards the video, now we're going to be able to record video. So recording video on this camera is extremely easy. Once you are in the video mode, all you have to do is press the start stop button here in the middle of this little dial here. So I'll zoom in here so you guys can get a better look at it. So let's do a quick demo of this. We're just going to press the start stop button just like this, and then you can see the record button right here in the top of the screen. And you can also see that the red dot that says that the SD card is recording is going to be flashing, and that means that we are going to be recording video. And to stop the recording, we're just going to simply press the start stop button once again, and then that's going to stop the recording. Now if we want to preview our photos or videos that we just shot, we're going to press this little blue square here with the little play button right here, and we're just going to give that a press, and then it's going to pull up the last picture or video that we shot. From here we have this beautiful touchscreen, so we can just go ahead and tap it and it's going to start to play. We're going to stop that, and then from here we can see a ton of other very useful controls right up here at the top. Now to go back to filming video, we're going to press the stop start button again just like this, and it's going to pop us back to that screen where we can record video. A lot of people are always asking me how you can get this little audio visualizer to show up here on your screen. Well, to do that, you're going to hit the menu, and then you're going to go to sound recording, and you have to have manual sound recording selected. This is not going to show up in auto. But once you have manual audio selected, then we're going to have our little sound graph right right here, which is going to be very helpful. Now, as you guys can see here, I have tons of useful information being shown here on my screen, and you can access that by hitting the info button. So if we press it again, it's all going to go away. If we press it one more time, it's going to pop up some more information. And then if we press it a third time, it's going to give us all the information that basically is going to be available. Now, to change any of these settings, we're going to hit the little Q here, and then we can go and toggle through all these different settings. Picture style, we can change our volume recording level. Here we can also adjust our headphone output volume, which is also going to be very helpful. And then if we go up here to the top, we can also change our movie recording file size. So here we have 4K video selected at 30 frames a second. We have a couple of different options. We have 1080p at 60 frames a second, and we're also going to have 1080p at 30 frames a second, and then a couple other 720p options. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, how do you film 1080p at 120 frames a second? It's not an option here. Well, to access that, we're going to press the menu button, and then we're going to go over here to our movie recording quality. We're going to press that and then simply select the high frame rate. So we're going to enable that just like this. And now if we go back to our video shooting section, we can see that we are now filming 1080p video at 120 frames per second, and that's going to be locked in right there. Unfortunately, when filming 1080p video at 120 frames a second, we can't record audio, and also DuPixel AF is going to be disabled, so we're not going to be able to tap to focus. We are going to have to manually focus when recording high frame rate video. So if you want autofocus during video, you just press the menu. We're going to go ahead and disable the high frame rate just like this. Then we're going to press the start stop just like this to pull us to our main menu. Then we have to make sure that the AF button is going to be selected here on our lens. All lenses probably are going to have a AF MF button. Make sure it's pressed all the way to the AF. Then we're going to go back to our camera, press the Q, and then press this button right here. And here we can tap to focus. So we can tap anywhere on the screen to focus, and it's going to keep whatever we tap in focus. Canon's DuPixel autofocusing system is absolutely incredible, and it is available when shooting 4K video, which is really incredible. And I'm very happy that this is an option here on the Canon 90D. We can film 4K video with this amazing tap to focus system. Very advanced and very nice and super easy to use, as you guys can see here. If for whatever reason you don't like the camera autofocusing and you want to manually focus, as you guys can know, it can be kind of hard to tell what's in focus and what's not in focus just by looking at the LCD screen. But we can hit the menu here, and if we go over here in the red section and we toggle over a couple spots over here, we can see the option of MF peaking settings. So we're going to give that a press just like this, and then as you guys can see, peaking is set to on. And we can also go ahead and change the color. I have it over here to be red. You can switch between red, yellow, or blue. I really like red or blue. I kind of go back and forth between which one I like. Now, once it's enabled, we're going to press the start stop button again to bring us to our main menu. And now we have to turn our manual focus on the actual lens right here off. So we're going to press that to MF. And now, as you guys can see here, what is in focus is now going to be in red. So as you guys can see, this is very helpful and very useful. As you guys can see, it's very easy to spot, and it's going to be very good for video. And I really love focus peaking on this camera. So that's about it for the different shooting settings for video. Now we're going to switch here to photography. Okay, so now that we have switched over to stills mode, the first thing we're going to do is talk about our file format and our picture size. So we're going to hit the Q, and here we can actually toggle between different file sizes. Of course, the one here all the way to the left is going to be the absolute best quality, and this is going to be a high quality JPEG. But if we want to extract the most out of our sensor, we're going to switch to RAW. So as you guys can see here, if you press info or if you tap the screen right here, it's going to allow us to shoot RAW. So if we press RAW like this, RAW is actually going to give us much better RAW information. And basically what this means is that in post, like using Lightroom or any post-production, you're going to be able to extract a lot more RAW data from your camera when shooting in RAW mode. However, your file size is probably going to be about 1 to 2 times bigger than the JPEGs. Another really cool feature on the 90D is going to be our touch shutter, and it's going to be located here in the bottom left corner, and here we can tap it to enable it or tap it to disable it. So right now it is going to be enabled. So here, rather than pressing the traditional shutter button, which can be a little clunky, as you guys can see here, it's going to shake the camera off because you kind of got to press down a little bit hard. But here, if you have touch shutter enabled, all you have to do is just lightly touch the screen, and it's going to focus where you touch, and it's going to take that picture, and it's not going to move the camera nearly as much as pressing the traditional shutter button. It's going to be very good for low light shooting. Now, if we want to reduce our camera shake even more, we can actually go over here and hit the Q, and here we can actually set up a timer. So if we press this little box right here, it's going to allow us to change the drive mode. So to set a timer here, we can go over here to a self 2-second timer, select that, and then if we tap to touch it like this, we can tap it, and it's going to blink a couple seconds for 2 seconds, and it's going to take that picture. So these 2-second or 10-second timers are going to be extremely useful, so you don't affect or have any camera shake when you actually go ahead and take that picture. Over here, we also have our high speed shooting settings. So if we tap that just like this, so now if we press and hold down the shutter, it's going to shoot extremely fast. And that's the mode we want to have selected for shooting sports photography. And when we're in photography mode, we're going to have a ton of settings located here in the menu. There's going to be a ton of things you guys can mess around with and tweak to your liking. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go over everything here in the menu, but there is a ton of really, really good and powerful tools that can really help change the way you shoot. A couple of things here that I use often here under the wrench is going to be formatting card. We can go here and format our card, but be very careful, because if you go in here and format your card, it's going to erase the entire card. But anytime you get a brand new card, you are going to want to pop it in there and completely format your brand new card. Another feature that I use quite often here is going to be the display brightness is going to be located here. So here you guys can go ahead and change the brightness. You can make the screen lighter or darker simply by using this screen, which is going to be pretty cool. Here's also where you can change the date, time, and your time zone. And then if we go over here to the third section of the wrench, we're going to have our battery info, which is going to be extremely helpful. So as you guys can see, I have 94% battery. Our shutter count is going to be 12. And then we can also see our recharge performance, and the battery that I put in this camera is probably, I think, from my Canon 80D. So it's a little bit older, so we don't have 3 bars of our recharge performance. We only have about 2/3 of our battery life left. Now let's go back to our shooting mode, and here we're going to talk a little bit about our shutter speed, our aperture, and our ISO. So here we can change our shutter speed by tapping it here on the bottom left, and we can make our shutter speed faster or slower. But of course, this camera also is going to have physical buttons. Here at the top, we can see the little dial here, and by twisting this dial, it's going to change our shutter speed just like this. So we can use faster or slower shutter speed just by turning this dial. And this is how I change my shutter speed 99% of the time. Usually I don't tap here on the screen. Now, if you want to change the aperture, you can change it using the touchscreen, of course, just like this, and you can stop up or stop down your aperture, or you can actually use the wheel. So here you guys can see by pulling the wheel down, I'm actually going to be stopping down our aperture. That's going to be incredibly useful. And again, I use this probably about 90% of the time to change my aperture. Now, if we want to change the ISO, again, we can tap it just like this, and then we can move it up and down. But we also are going to have a hotkey here at the top of the camera. It's also going to have a little raised little nub here at the top, so we can feel it when we are looking down through the mirror. So we're just going to tap that. And once that ISO button is selected, now we can use our shutter speed dial to change our settings here of the ISO. So that's really cool. We can change all 3 of our settings. Super easy and super simple, all using the actual camera and not using the touchscreen at all. Now, something you want to be careful about is using high ISOs. I wouldn't recommend shooting anything over ISO 6400 on this camera. This camera definitely can handle ISO 6400, but shooting anything faster than that, you're going to get much worse image quality. You're going to get more noise because your sensor is going to be making more inaccurate guesses as to what each individual pixel is going to be. Personally, I try to keep it under 6400 to get the best image results. Taking a look at the top of the camera here, we can see our mode dial, and then we can also see our top deck display, which is going to display a ton of relevant information here at the top of the camera. We can also see some more quick functions here, along with a backlight for this little LCD screen, which is going to be very useful. Now, if we want to change modes on the camera, we're going to press down here, and then we're going to twist it. Otherwise, it's going to be locked. So you have to press down and twist it, and then we can switch to all the different modes. I keep my camera camera in manual mode probably, again, 90% of the time, and I don't use any of these other modes really too often. But auto is going to be very good if you just want to hand your camera off to somebody who doesn't know how to take pictures. Just pop it in auto. The camera is going to do all the work for you, and then they're just going to have to press down the shutter speed. So that's going to be great if you're handing your expensive camera off to somebody else who's not familiar with how to manually expose a picture. But that's about it for this video. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about anything that I didn't cover or that I did cover, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try my best to answer all the questions that you have about this brand new Canon 90D. This video could have easily been 2 or 3 hours, but I definitely don't have time for that, and you guys probably don't have time to watch that video either. So again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll try my best to answer all those questions. But that's all I got for you guys in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any new videos just like this one. But again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.